What up? It's Coop the Credit Coach here with you again. All right, so I get so many clients that call about credit repair, and the first thing everybody wants to know is like, how does credit repair actually work, right? So initially, we do the consultation, to just go over what all we can do for you, and then to get started, we have to pull your credit report. Now, a lot of people think that we can use like Equifax or Credit Karma and apps like that to get your full report, but we actually can't. Most of us use companies like Credit Strong. I said Credit Strong, My Free Score Now, Identity IQ, Credit Smart Credit, companies like that, credit monitoring companies. And the reason why is because we have to pull your reports into our systems. And what do I mean by systems? Most of us use some kind of credit repair system like Dispute Fox, Metro 2, Dispute Beast, Credit Repair Cloud, so we have to actually import your credit report into our system. Once we do that, the system does a lot of the work for us. Most of these systems now have AI abilities where the system actually generates the letters or whatever for us. So once we pull it into our system, we're able to identify all of your negative items, and it kind of categorizes them, meaning like it'll show us which items is late payments, which ones is collections, which ones is inquiries, so when we pull it in there, we able to give you another call and give you a consultation to let you know like, hey, you got X amount of collections, you got X amount of inquiries, you got X amount of late payments, whatever it may be. You got bankruptcy or whatever, but the system identifies everything for us. So it's pretty simple when you're dealing with somebody that is using the system to actually do your credit repair. Now, I'm gonna point this out first, and I know a lot of people that do credit can agree, but you have to keep that credit monitoring going. Initially it's either free for 7 days or $1 for 7 days, but it is very crucial in the process that you keep that going. Why? Because we have to continuously check over your report and pull your report every 30 days. So if you're not making that $20 to $30 payment a month to keep that active, it kind of slows the process down, because see, when we import it into our systems, the system tracks like when the letters are sent and when it's time to go back at the bureaus. We don't even have to think about it. The system gonna let us know. So if we gotta chase you down to get you back signed up with your credit monitoring or make the payment, it kind of slow the process down. I like to hit them every 30 days on that day. I don't like any gaps in between, because to me it feel like gaps in between is like you starting over. So again, once we get your credit report in and we identify what's all on there, we able to actually write letters for each one of those items. Okay, so, and depending on who you're dealing with, different people do it different ways. But when I do credit repair, we file a complaint through the FTC, we file a complaint through the CFPB, we actually send dispute letters to the bureaus directly, and we actually send it to the actual companies, depending on what it is. Most of the time, late payments, we send in direct letters to that company. Collections, definitely to the collection company, and inquiries. It is some things, maybe charge off, we may not send a direct letter to the company, but for the most part, we're sending direct letters to 3 or 4 different people each round. I found it to be a little bit more effective, right, when we're doing this. The reason why is because a lot of the bureaus, they don't do real investigations. So once we do the complaints with the FTC and the CFPB, they definitely gonna reach out to those bureaus about doing these investigations. And we like to let the person that's actually reporting that negative item to your credit know that they on notice as well, especially with like collection agencies. We like to send a cease and desist letter, meaning like they got to stop all the communications with you, no more phone calls, sending letters threatening and all that good stuff, and letting them know that they can't prove that you own that debt. So what do I mean by that? Meaning like a lot of those collection agency companies, they buy your collection from a corporation and they buy like portfolios of it. So they may buy millions and millions of people's information or whatever, and then they try to come back and go at you for that same amount, if not more, when in fact they got those documents for pennies on the dollar. So we like to send definitely direct letters for collections, because typically we get those off pretty fast because they're illegal. Pretty much anything that's on your credit is illegal, that's negative, including late payments or inquiries, because unless you actually gave that person permission to put it on there, then it shouldn't be reporting. And that's why we send those letters out to the FTC and to the CFPB, because they have to be fair with what they report. And typically, most credit bureaus are not fair with it, right? So once we do all that, every 30 days, we update you, let you know the progress, things you can and cannot do while we're working on your credit. Another thing that the system identifies, which you may not think, is the items that's on your credit that are positive. Because just because your credit is bad doesn't mean nothing on your credit isn't positive. You may still have open accounts and things like that. A lot of times, some of you guys have high utilization, so we have to work with you and let you know, like, hey, maybe this month pay this card down to this, or that month pay that card down to that, so that we can start getting some movement on your credit. All right, so hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Anybody that's looking to use me as a person that help them repair their credit, again, we do a consultation. If you guys need have a few more questions or something like that that need to be answered before you take us on for working on your credit, just let us know when we have that consultation. All right, if you like this video and you want more videos like this, like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.